Hello, welcome back everybody. RT here with Hxro Labs Live. It is Friday. Yes, congratulations are in order. Thank you guys for giving me love in the chat today. I do have a baby boy. Pumped, absolutely pumped. Still doesn't quite feel real, but he's doing well. Despite being 7 weeks early to the party, he's kicking it, growing fast. And he's at the hospital, so you know he's gonna be there for a few weeks. Silver lining, I don't have to rush into daily all that stuff. Let me get the sound down here. All right, sound is down. Music is down a little bit. Hello from Pantera Capital, man. Good to see you, Damien. Appreciate the love. And Bad Beat says, what up? Yeah, guys, it's crazy. It's crazy. I know we're here to talk crypto, and that's what we're going to do, but I can't help but shill my baby boy. Just all fired up, man. I can't tell you how just weird and happy I am. Now, I did do some reading about Curve today, CRV. CVX, as you guys know, I've been positioned in that for a few weeks now, thanks to Fozzie from the Discord, who red-pilled me a couple weeks ago. And so I'll share a little bit about that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm an expert now. I'll tell you all about it. But I do have an interesting thread. So let me get that thread out here. Let me get that thread. I'm going to put this thread in... Copy link. I'll put this thread in the chat over on YouTube. So if you guys want to read, that was from a guy named Ryan in the Discord. So if you're watching, Ryan, I appreciate you. I read that. There's an article or two linked in it, so I read those as well. I just kind of went down the rabbit hole on that thread. And it's bullish. It's bullish. There's a lot going on with Curve governance and all these things. Emissions are about to drop today, actually, by 15%. So that can only be good for supply and demand dynamics. And my Curve bag is growing in price. Not in size. I'm not adding to it right now, but it looks ready to break out. We're going to get that chart out in a little bit. It's DeFi, arguably one of the more undervalued ones given the TVLs and all that stuff. And I'll admit, guys, yeah, I don't know all the ins and outs and dynamics of some of these DeFi protocols. Like, I was always like, even with NFTs, I'm like, you know, let me buy a token that has a chart, you know, where I have a stop loss and a limit order, and that token is a proxy to NFTs or DeFi. That's been my extent of participation for the most part. I have done some staking, as you guys know. Last year I did a lot with Share Protocol, the algo stablecoin hype of December 2020, and that did really well for me. And that was about as far down the rabbit hole of like participation, you know, actively in DeFi, all that I got into. Let me just fix my screen capture here, and we'll switch over to the charts. So I owe it to myself to get a little deeper, I think, at this point. Ooh. Tried the standing desk today, and there's a little bit difference in the camera. There we go. I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, fix that. So let's start with Bitcoin. Let's start with everything. You know, the market looks good. Wednesday, we talked on DeltaFi about the broader market. You know, always a little more zoomed out on that show. Less about charting individual coins and more about, you know, how are things looking. This market looks really good. And I know the emotion right now is... you know, sell on the dips and buy on the rips, because there's this fear. I mean, you shouldn't do that, but that's the emotion. That's the disbelief. And I'll show you exactly what I mean here. You know, how many of you, raise your hand, raise your hand, class, if you got excited at this breakout, maybe even this little breakout here, and then, you know, over the last 2 days, you were kind of like, oh, fuck, we're going down. It was overdue. We're definitely correcting, and sold almost the bottom, the pico bottom, smallest unit of something here, and now we're just right back up. We're trending up. Let's start there. What is the daily trend? It is up. And so when you are trading against the trend, trying to call tops, you got to ask yourself, and I have to ask myself this, because I had an interesting week, as you guys know, in and out of the hospital, just dealing with childbirth. So, you know, I was tired. I was on 2 hours of sleep, 2 days, you know, still checking my FTX from my phone and you know, flipping in and out. And I was pretty long through here on some DeFi, pretty long through here on more DeFi, you know, Sushi, SNX, what have you, Ray. Caught Ray right before the Binance listing. That was fun. It was like a 30% pump day. Doesn't matter. I didn't sell any, but at least it was a nice launch. Point is, you know, I think it was this night, and I was in the hospital and I was looking, and, you know, everything's breaking out. I mean, Bitcoin barely moved, but DeFi was moving. I'll show you an example, like Band. Band is one. The night before all this shenanigans went down with my boy was like here. And I was looking at band. I was like, we just got this. We got this little flip of this level. We just retested it. Okay, I'm moving funds to FTX specifically for this trade. And when I wake up, I'm going to buy it. And when I woke up, I was racing to the hospital. So, I didn't buy it right away. And so through here, I was like, fuck it. It's going to move. I'm going to jump in. And of course, I bought the local highs because I was half paying attention and underslept. Don't try this at home. Shouldn't do that. So I probably bought somewhere through here. And then yesterday, I'm just sitting there thinking, well, that was stupid. Why am I buying that? That wasn't a good setup. That was me aping in lazily because the market has a way of drawing you into the worst positions if you don't have a plan. And so then I'm faced with a decision here where I'm like, God, did I just buy like the high for this little move? And now I'm like, holding on to that. What am I facing? Like a 382, a reload zone. We're going to roll over for a bit. And that's the emotion, that I was feeling. And the reason, I think as traders, they say, don't trade with emotions, leave your emotions at the door. But I would go a step further than that and just acknowledge that as a human, I have emotions. And so it's less about try to ignore them and maybe try to analyze them instead, reflect on them. And we talked about that a lot last week. And for that, I think we would need the Bitcoin chart. And you're seeing a lot of these pop up right now. In fact, I'll give a shout to Dan, not Dan Gunny, but it's on my Twitter. I'm gonna pull it up right now because this was exactly what I probably should have done after we talked about it last week, and I didn't put out this chart. So I just retweeted his because it's really clean. I like it a lot. Let's see. Here it is. Boop. And we're gonna drag it over. There you go. So let's look at this. This is exactly what we talked about last Friday, right? With Bitcoin, we had the complacency, anxiety, denial, anger, depression, disbelief, hope. And so when you are in disbelief, and I would argue that this entire rally is disbelief, I would actually put hope, further out, probably up here. And I would put optimism right by the highs. But the point is, what is disbelief? It's this feeling that I shouldn't be making this much money. We are not in a bull market. So anytime I see even a hint of a pullback, I'm going to think short, I'm going to think sell, I'm going to think grab profits. And ultimately, I'm going to be left behind. That's what ends up happening through this part. And it happened right here, right? We had the rally, we had a little drop, and there's this kind of disbelief. I was stuck in disbelief last year in September. I'll be the first to admit it. I was not like mega long Bitcoin through here. I was, even as we moved up here, I was like, oh, like this can't be happening. We're not going to 20K. That's not what happens. And it took me a little while to shake that. So through this, I reflected on it and I said, next time I am feeling that way, I'm going to trade it accordingly. I'm going to not rush to take profits on these little pullbacks. I'm going to look to buy bullish retest because what are we in? We're in a bullish uptrend. Whether this hurts, no matter what happened through here, we are in a bullish uptrend. Say it with me now. It is a bullish uptrend. Now, you could zoom in, you could look at the weekly, zoom out and look at the weekly. And you should do that. The weekly is probably the most important time frame in crypto. You want to be on side with the weekly. And you could say, yeah, up, higher, low, higher, high. Oop, lower, high, lower, low, lower, low, lower, low. We're still in sort of lower high territory. Oh, I lied. This is a high. So we've just made a higher high. So we're actually trending up on the weekly. But in an uptrend, where do I want to get long? Do I want to get long on like a higher high right here? No, I want to wait for some kind of dip and get long on a higher low. But when this comes in, I'm telling you right now, a lot of people are going to flip bear. They're going to flip bear because they're in this disbelief part of the cycle. And that psychology is extremely challenging to override. And I'm seeing really good traders get shaken out of position saying that they're going to close their longs, take profit. They're all in disbelief. And there's nothing wrong with that. My goal in all this ranting and raving and analysis about myself and emotions is to fight that urge, fight that perhaps natural tendency, because the shapes of markets are, is it the shape of the market that makes the emotion? Or is it the emotions that we all collectively feel because we're all basically wired the same way that shapes the market? And I would argue it's the latter. So point is, while everyone's feeling disbelief here, while everyone's worried and rushing to take profits, which is not a bad idea if you're up a whole bunch and you were ape long from lows or mids, nothing wrong with taking profit. But I have shaken myself out of a lot of very profitable positions in the past, and I don't intend to do that this year. So where do I think this market's going this year? It's really hard for me to not see it, performing well, blasting up. And the number one reason for that, if nothing else, is probably this indicator we're going to pull up right now. Sadly, I didn't get to write the newsletter this week. I write it on Tuesdays, which was like, the main day of my wild week, with, the birth of my son, all that fun stuff. So I was sitting there like ready to take a victory lap. All these nice things were happening. A lot of the planning and talking in the newsletter that I had done was kind of coming to fruition. It was a fun newsletter to write. Didn't get to write it. So we'll talk a little bit about my thoughts here that I would have put in it, and then I'll write, I'll add all that in next week. But this is the hash ribbons indicator, and when it flipped to capitulation back in May, all I could think was like, well, when this fires a buy, I'm getting long. I'm going to ignore local sentiment. I'm going to ignore the naysayers, even myself, who would be looking at this bearish throwback here saying, like when we're below that, we're not bullish. I think in many ways, this is like a weak structure for now. If I want to be totally objective, right? We had a lower low. So when you have a W in price structure, you want the right shoulder, whatever you're going to call it, you want that to be higher. You don't want that to be lower. It's just a little weaker. They can reverse. If you see this, you can get reversals like that. And then, you ended with a lower low and you get a higher low later. But the stronger W is the one where the right is higher. So we don't have the strongest one here, but that's not a reason to stay out of it completely. It's just something to kind of keep in mind. So what ultimately I'd like to see is some kind of higher low, and then the break of that. That's just, okay. It's really, really, really on for reals this time. Disbelief will be gone from the market. We'll be into hope. For now, there is an element of disbelief in myself and others, and I see it on Twitter. Not everywhere, but you can spot the breadcrumbs. And that's probably my favorite kind of analysis to do, because everyone's looking at the charts. Not everyone, but a lot of people looking at the charts, a lot of people looking at the same MAs, same EMAs. So where's the edge? For me, my undergrad, psychology, my passion in life, studying human behavior, for me, it's in that. It's finding the edge in just understanding where the general sentiment is at and counter trading it. And don't mistake that for going on Twitter and seeing like 20 tweets and being like, everyone's bullish. We've talked about that. That's bullshit, right? Because when things are bullish, the bullish people tweet. When things are bearish, the bearish people tweet. That's human behavior. So you can't read from that. But you'll see little comments like traders who have been really bullish saying like, I'm going to take some off here or whatever. Like there's just, it's hard to explain. It's an imperfect science. But I do look for those breadcrumbs. And right now, all I'm seeing is evidence of us pushing higher and higher as people start to chop themselves out of really good positions. Because think about this. If we go higher here, which everything I'm seeing points to we will, whether it's directly or after a dump or after another 3 months of sideways, who knows. But for us to not break these highs this year, I think there's a 90% chance we're going to break these highs this year based on everything I'm seeing. So the positions that I've been accumulating through here are very strong. And I don't want to get taken out of them by some kind of low time frame bullshit through here, right? This pullback last weekend is like picture perfect, right? Move up, pump chaser zone, let's go. That's like Hxro Labs 101, right? This is our zone. If you guys haven't yet, you can watch the pump chaser zone video that I put out on this channel last year. And it was really good when it's really good, and it's really useless when it's really useless. We are in an environment where I think the pump chaser zone is coming back into fashion. The FOMO is re-entering the market. The rallies are moving hot and heavy. And if you don't have a plan, you will end up buying through the tops of these moves, selling uncannily close to the 382 and getting left behind. And you're like, I sold the exact bottom. It's fucked. You will do that if you just act emotionally and without any particular plan, if you float around the market. So as we continue moving up, these 0.5 and 0.382 retraces become incredibly valuable. And so I don't want to get caught selling any of these. I need to see the trend for what it is. It's an uptrend. So I hope that all makes sense. I don't know if I had a point to sort of exclamation mark the end of this rant other than to say that the hash ribbons signal has fired. And that's, price can still move sideways. It fired back here. We had the anomaly, which was COVID. I would take this off the chart. Excuse me. Not sleeping a lot, guys, so I'm a little rough, as you can imagine, but wouldn't miss it for the world. So here we are. Now, this was an anomaly. It was like the black swan of black swans, right? It nuked the entire market, basically around the world. So, but you can almost identify its anomalous tendencies by drawing up. Is it log? Yeah. By drawing up the trend line. Was it here? There was a trend line that basically moved right through it perfectly. Yeah, right here. Right, so you're thinking uptrend. Okay, the uptrend starts. Let's put in that trend line on it. Okay, come into it. Nice. Oh shit, anomaly. Back up, resume trend. All right, so the clean price action following and just before kind of suggest. All that to say that the hash ribbon was pretty bang on there, aside from not knowing that there was a pandemic in the world. And then it fired again shortly after to basically say, yeah, it's still a fucking hash ribbon bear or bull. And then it fired another buy here. And then it fired another buy at the midpoint here after a little capitulation of the miners. And, so point is, this thing fucks. And it just fired a buy. So I need to keep that in mind. So through all these little dips, through all these shitty little bits of maybe low volume, weekend rollovers, I see P&L go down. I see balances that have been climbing steadily take big drops, and I hate it. It's uncomfortable. But my job as a trader is to spot value, position myself in a high R direction, and then let my fucking winners run. And if I'm going on about this a lot today, it's because it's not easy to do. And going back to the band example, I did sell some last night because I was so bloody tired. I said, even if this ends up being a good entry in weeks, it's not a setup. It's not where I want to put risk in the market as a rule. It's not part of my process. I just did it out of FOMO because I was sitting in the hospital like 2 hours of sleep, like, oh, everything's moving. I'll just ape in here. It's easy. And then, of course, the bullish throwbacks comes in. And that was pretty close to where I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll just take it off. Small loss. But at least I'm like, as soon as you spot that you're in a trade or a position that's really nothing to do with your plan and no managed risk, you have to get out of it as a rule. You got to eat shit. And then I looked and laughed today. I was like, we'll talk about this on Hero Labs Live today. So that's sort of, even no matter how far into this stuff you guys get, you want to have a trade journal. You want to reflect on this stuff. I don't always write into a trade journal, but I often will rant into this microphone. And that's a form of basically journaling my trades. So band looks good. Objectively, band looks really good. It's come up like a lot of these things, and it's just resume trend, right? Up, retest, up, retest. Like that is going to continue until it's not. And when is it going to stop? When can we say, okay, let's not buy the next bullish retest? Well, you're going to want to see a structural reversal on the daily. So right here, you had an M top on the daily. This was not good. This looked a lot like a trend reversal, right? Low, lower high, breakdown. I'm not that bullish on this thing anymore. Oh, we got a trend reversal. www.breakout.com. Go up, but then you have a high, a lower high, and another breakdown. So this, obviously, in retrospect, after these breakdowns, and even after this break, you got a chance to get out, right? So if you were looking like, okay, here's support, I'm going to long here. Oh, no, it broke. Exit. Good thing you exited. And then you just got to wait, and you 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 got to wait until you get a breakout going the other way. And I'm using BAND today, not because it's the most bullish coin or something I even hold any of anymore, but just because a lot of the charts look like this, so we're using it as an example. But right now, what you had here, arguably right here, although it did make new lows, actually not quite. But right here on the daily, you kind of had a reversal, right? You had a low, high, higher low, higher high breakout, retest, and started to move. Market volatility said, we're going to go test those lows one more time. Shake out all you eager beavers. Even the buy volume coming in here, maybe a hint of what's to come, but it failed. And so now you have an even larger structural breakout. You have a high, you have a slightly higher low, a low, slightly higher low. This was your midpoint. So when that breaks, you can say we have a bullish reversal. All this is forgotten. All this is cleaned up. And now we're back to resume an uptrend. Breakout. But where do we buy? The higher lows. Breakout. Where do we buy? Not where RT sold. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in the market right now. And objectively, would you not agree that all the emotion of where are we going in 6 months, where are we going next month, like that, let's stay away from predictions. Let's just trade the chart. The chart says trend is up. So buy dips. You know, don't have zero confidence here in a trading plan, and then suddenly it starts to break out and you're like, yes, I was wrong to not buy, but now I'm going to buy. You get all nice and fat longed up, and then it does another dip and you're forced to sell at that next bullish throwback right as it goes again. So that's why I put out on Twitter yesterday. It was like disbelief equals buy rips and sell dips, because that's what you tend to do, right? You don't have the same confidence you might through here, which is like a much more defined bull trend. And when does your confidence peak? Usually like way deep into the bull trend, when you should actually be starting to pay yourself taking some off. So if I can be positioning myself here, which I did a little bit of on some of these coins, not banned, and if I can start to spot that breakout and get really aggressive on the first few dips, then I can position myself to capture either new highs, right? Let's not suggest like, oh, it's mid 2017 and never went to new highs. It went to fucking sky highs. So if you don't think it can happen, well, you just have to look to the last big cycle. It did happen. So it certainly could. But at the very least, let's get a GAN 50-50. GAN 50-50 off these throwbacks is still like a 70% move, and it looks like it could happen in a matter of weeks here. That's an incredible return to the risk that you take. And in these cases, with these like little throwbacks along the way, I'd probably just risk to the one previous. So if I'm going to buy here, I'm probably just risking to the low below. The low below. So where is that? In this example, that'd be like 13% drawdown to capture a potential 78% move. That's a 6-to-1. I'm making $6 for every dollar I risk. That's what trading's all about. So I'm picking on band today. There's nice buy volume coming in. It does look like it's ready to continue, but so does so many. So how do you separate the good from the bad? How do you pick which coin to be long on, which one to get into when there's a market of 7,000 more coins and they're all looking similar, or at least the ones on Binance and FTX are, because they're all using market makers and they're all going to echo each other a lot more. You go into Uniswap and you get into the darker corners of crypto, you will find a lot of anomalies that just don't match anything. ID looks good. Let's just plug that while we're here. Like ILV. ILV, it's a gaming platform. 489. Holy shit. Remember last week we talked about how I bought some here and then sold some right after because I had too big a position for this kind of pump? Well, I'm still holding that smaller position and it's now bigger. Holy fuck. Didn't even look at this week. 489. Nice. That's almost a double. It's almost a double. I guess it has to get to 600. Point is, this thing put in lows in June, and it's been rallying all through the bear. So if you get off the major exchanges and into the dirt, you can usually find some anomalies. But for what it's worth, most of the shit here, Uni, tell me you don't see the similarities here. Sushi, they're all coming up. Sushi's kind of leading with Uni there. These are all the AMMs. 1 inch, at least all the ones that I'm looking at. BNT, CRV's breaking out today. Oof. Really nice. Balancer. Following the squiggly, but it looks like it's ready to abandon me one dip early. I wasn't trading this, but I drew it. We've been following it. It's been fun. KNC. Talked about it on Wednesday right here. Just a little breakout. Let's get that retest, right? All this stuff, guys. And if you inverted this chart, which I actually don't know how to do offhand. I always copy other people. It's like 0/ something. I don't know. But if you inverted this chart, tell me this doesn't just look so bearish. It's about to puke. It's about to roll over. It's about to fall out of bed. Right? M top, breakdown, retest. Bear market. Right? But we're stuck in disbelief. So we look at this chart and you just think, oh, maybe it's going to dip. Why would you look at that chart and think about dips? Yeah, you want to buy one. Well, there was one. We're going to break out. We're going to maybe sweep these highs. There'll be another one. But every time these dips come, instead of thinking, oh, I should have sold, I should be getting shorter, I should be in stable, it's like, do whatever you want. But this is me ranting about my inner sort of dialogue through the last couple of weeks of price action, because I don't want to act like because I captured 80% here, I can't just capture some fuck you Christmas move where it gets into December and it's like, oh my God. Don't think that the market can't do nice things, guys. It does nice things all the time. But it's been very abusive to us lately. And so it's very normal to have trust issues. to have attachment issues, and then to like run the second it turns its ugly face. But we need to trade the next trend, not the last trend. The last trend was ugly. Everything I'm seeing shows that we have reversed trend. So the quicker I can wrap my head around what we are now seeing and what we should expect based on what we're seeing, the quicker I can position myself, the deeper I can position myself, I should say, to capture that in its entirety. Because you cannot 100x a coin. People are like, oh, I wish I caught 100x. You don't get 100x in one candle. Oh, yeah, that was easy. Sure, it's happened somewhere. So, share some examples. But the best pumps, the craziest gains come from things that you had to hold. Oh, short reload zone. Ooh, didn't sell because I'm a G. And then you go all the, like the 100x's come through a lot of pain. So, yeah, B2 wins gets it. He says trade journal is a must. It's a game changer. Yeah, on the topic of trade journals, guys, if you haven't done one and you're sitting here like, I'm doing all the right things, I'm in the market, I'm going to make some money. God, I think my camera's shaking because I'm in standing mode today and I keep touching the desk and the monitor's moving. So if that's happening, guys, try not to throw up. I need a more sturdy monitor. Noted. On the topic of trade journals, I can do more of it. I get these live streams, so I get a lot of my reflections out on stream, so it does actually have that function. But I do have a Google Doc. You put in the dates, nice and bolded, header 3, so they stand out. You can click through them on the outline on the side. And you have to write down, something you learned, something you noticed in the market, and then maybe just write out your emotions, like just puke all over the page. And then most importantly, identify mistakes or successes, and then like reflect on how you can change them. Because if you don't do that, you're not doing enough. You're not going to, I'm not going to say you're not going to make it, but you're not, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, oh, I could have done way better. And most importantly, most tragically, you're going to just repeat the same mistakes month after month after month, year after year, and you won't even notice it because you're not writing down your mistakes. And then I do it all the time. I told you about my band mistake this week. That's something I've done all the time. I've done that a bunch. I was out of my element. I was super tired. I was in, on my phone, kind of just passively looking. Well, I should have been doing other things probably. And, it's whatever. It's you take the L and you write it down and you try not to repeat it again. But if you're not writing in a trade journal, get your shit together. Don't complain about not getting, the most out of the market if you're not putting the most in. All right. Opening rant complete, guys. That was an earful. I hope you guys grabbed some interesting value out of that. Love to hear your thoughts on ZK. Polymerge. No, Gunny was bullish on the Polygon team. Yeah, we're bullish on Polygon in general. Never heard of Polymerge or ZK. Unless that's that big hack that happened this week. I only kind of caught part of that when I was out mobile. BK in the house, asking you guys to smash the like button. If you haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you do. Let's get the viewers up, guys. What can we do to raise some attention to the channel? If you guys have any ideas. Oh, that reminds me. Very special and important announcement. We, and I say we, Hxro Labs, we're looking for an intern. So that's exciting. Hxro as a company, we're looking for an intern. So we're going to put out something a little more official. This is your sneak preview. Not even sure if it's, if I'm allowed to say it yet, but we talked about it at the meeting today. I got the confirmation from Rob and Dan that we are welcome to bring on an intern. So it'll be, I won't get into all the details, but it'll be unpaid to start as internships do. And I'm sure there's room to really join the squad if things go well. We need someone to help with, viewing the streams, putting hyperlinks in, doing some content on Twitter, maybe writing a little one-pager on NFTs each week, like whatever. We need help. So it's going to be fun. And we get to work together. So if you guys are interested in that, keep that in mind. Keep an eye out. Yeah, video, editing, marketing. I mean, we put out a lot of content. We could put out more, and we could be more optimal with the content we have. So I was talking to the marketing team, and we were hoping to get an intern. So we're going to put that out on Twitter in the coming days. Keep an eye on that. Okay, back to the grind. I'm just checking the chat, guys. Lots of chat today, so I appreciate that. I'm just kind of trying to catch up. These days, BTC or alts, I always choose BTC. Think of BTC, G charts are reliable for analysts. All the other coins are followers. Yep. Yeah, ETH and BTC definitely lead the market. So if you are trading altcoins, you should definitely keep an eye on those. There's this really nice tool on TradingView where you can, look at multiple charts at once. I have it up on some, but not all. So I usually have it over here. This is not optimized right now. It's just like a bunch of random shit that I was charting. But if you're really like into it, like day to day, somebody just said BTC dumping. Guys, if you want to capture the most possible gains out of this market for the least possible effort, start looking at the daily. A good buddy of mine is one of the analysts at my fund, and he is just a shooter when it comes to trading, and he almost only looks at the daily, the weekly and the daily. You know, he waits for these setups to come in, he longs at his retest levels, and then he just holds it through to some resistance level. He doesn't stare at charts all day. He doesn't notice, you know, shitty little candles on the 5-minute chart, because those are just a waste of time if you're capturing a larger trend. And his positions do very well. Let's go look at the 1 minute. Yeah, Bitcoin is dumping crazy. Oh, but you got to zoom out, man. What are you trading right now, right? So yeah, we're absolutely at a resistance level. So there are going to be sellers here. And as always, the question is, will they win? They could. You know, after I see that, I'd say, well, let's look at the volume. You know, are there buyers? Are there more buyers than sellers? Like, look what happened here. Let's do some volume analysis. You guys can see that? Yep. So with lots of sellers stepping in. Oh, no. Oh, no. Bears are in charge. They absolutely were. And then we went to break to new lows, and what happened? Nobody showed up. The bears, they fell asleep at the wheel right there. You can see it on the chart, right? They fell asleep at the wheel. And on the very next candle, we got a new high locally. It's hard to, you can't really zoom in on the volume. But let's see right here. So below that white line, you can see that's where the bulls took back over. And so you can, if you're a trader and you say, okay, I'm going to risk to that low because it looks like the bulls are back. We're going to take back some of this rally. Sure enough, next few candles and then explodes. The bulls are now in control. We're up to the highs. Where are the bulls? Bears are starting to wake up here. So ultimately, though, this is hourly analysis. We are just chopping. You know, we reached a level. There's clearly some resistance here, and I bet if we zoom out, we can find it. And we're just kind of chopping sideways. And this isn't that exciting to me, right? I'd love to see Bitcoin go to 50, Bitcoin go to 55. I hold some, but I want to see altcoins. Fuck. You know, that's where the multi-X returns are right now. And, you know, this chart is not nearly as sexy to me. It's sexy, but it's not nearly as sexy to me as some of these DeFi coins that I'm looking at. All the ones I just talked about here. I mean, look at this. Look at this. You could wait months. In fact, we just did wait months to see a chart like this. And the buying hasn't even barely picked up. And ends of moves are typically marked by high periods, like high volume. So tell me, do you see an end of a move here or the potential beginning of a move? Yes, I know. It has gone up quite a bit in the last few weeks. So don't be like, oh, RT, you want me to buy the local highs? I don't care what you buy. But this is 62% gain off the lows. The pump chaser zone is lingering just below. So with any powder I do have, you know, I'm definitely lingering down here looking for these throwbacks in the coming days. And if I don't get it, my bags do well. If I do get it, I'm longer. But these charts look so good. So all I need Bitcoin to do, all we need Bitcoin to do is not absolutely shit the bed. And it just doesn't look like it's going to. Where's that hash ribbon? Where's the hash ribbons? Where's that hash at? Where is it? Yeah, the BTC hash ribbon buy signal just fired. So, but just keep in mind, that is a very high time frame signal. You know, it fired here, and then we had an entire red week, which doesn't look like much on this chart, but I bet if we zoom in, that's pretty nasty. Let's not go too crazy. We'll go to the 4 hour. Let's actually go look at what that week looked like. Because yeah, you say, oh, BTC dumping? Well, you get left behind. So right here, Bitcoin hash ribbon fires. Okay, I'm going to go leverage long. And you get stopped out, liquidated, and then it really takes off. So wait for dips. Even if the, you know, hash ribbon fires, it doesn't mean there's never going to be a dip. And if you don't know how to wait for a dip, get a fib. I made a video on the reload zone. Check it out. Made a video on the pump chaser zone. Check it out. And this 618 here turned out to be the fuck point. Imagine planting bids at these levels. It works. It doesn't always work. So plant bids cautiously, you know, manage risk. If it goes all the way down here, I'm getting the fuck out. And that loss is not going to kill me. But, you know, hash ribbon fires. Wait for your next entry, but know that when that entry comes, it's not a bearish reversal, that the probability is you should be buying that dip. Hash ribbon just gives us the signal that says the next big dip is a buy, not a panic and exit. So we got one here. It would be amazing if this just did the exact same thing. I mean, it wouldn't feel fun, but it'd be pretty cool looking back. And we'll be on the show talking about this. So if this happens, it's going to be hilarious. And look where the 618 is. Right at this key level that price probably should tag anyways. RT's calling for $36,000 Bitcoin. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that's where that is. And if we're really bullish, because I would argue that as trends progress, well, I wouldn't argue this, it's just a fact. As trends progress, the parabola, it accelerates. The move accelerates. The first big leg up is never quite as intense as the next one, right? And you see that in theories like Elliott waves, where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And the first and fifth waves are much shorter, and the third one is the big FU wave, and then you kind of end up with exhaustion, and then it's like bing, 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 ABC. So this is possibly what's coming. And if it's not that, it's this. So keep an eye out. Point is, maybe we don't get the reload zone here. Maybe things are too bullish. Maybe the cat is too far out of the bag now, and everyone's pretty much convinced that, there's going to be 100K, 200K, 300K Bitcoin in our near future. And so we only get something like this. So yeah, short up against these highs if you really need to. If you don't trust in the daily trend, if you think you're going to spot the trend reversal before it actually happens, that's risky. Stopped out, stopped out, stopped out, stopped out. Rising wedge, breakdown. Have fun catching that, because that's what happens in rising wedges. They are kind of bearish, but you end up eating shit 10,000 times before they finally dump. And guess who was eating up your liquidity here? The whales that dumped it. So I've learned that lesson the hard way. We're kind of actually seeing that right now already. It's not even my imagination. Let's go take a look. There will be dumps, guys. There's going to be pullbacks. Question is, how long are you going to be when those pullbacks start? So how much powder are you going to have to actually buy them? So we're kind of seeing that right now. And anyone who's been trying to short this move up is just dealing a lot of shit. If they're trying to catch the daily reversal. Scalping this has been great money if you know what you're doing. So let's see. Let's see how high this goes. Let's see where the pullback levels end up being. And let's see who has any dry powder left when the levels that we should probably be waiting to buy come in. And then who has the balls to pull the trigger at those levels. That's really what's going to define us as traders over the next 3, 6, 12 months. No need to predict how long, but that's the idea. SPI, never heard of it, BK. Not too sure. Maybe if you link the CoinGecko, I can pull it up. Check Badger. Yeah, let's take a look at Badger. So we're going to get into some coin requests, guys. I can only rant and rave so much. But these are all my thoughts. These are my thinkings right now. And so while I am really trying to steal my hand, so to speak, and look at these dips as buying opportunities instead of trying to be Mr. Call the trend reversal, because, in an uptrend, how much money did people lose trying to call longs here, right? I'm going to be long. I bought the dip. Dead, dead, dead. The trend was down. The trend turned downwards right here. So let it reverse. I ate a little bit of shit through here trying to buy a little early. I had to stop myself out, lose some money. And then it's harder to buy the actual dip you probably should be buying. Same thing here. So acknowledge that we've reversed trend. Stop being scared of these fucking highs as if they're going to have to dump. They will someday, but try calling it. Good luck. You're probably going to end up running out of ammo right before this short reload zone, and that's where the actual midterm, or, not midterm, but 12-day dip or whatever it's going to be. So all that to say, I have short hedged twice here and gotten blown out, so maybe that's a bit of emotion talking, but I catch myself doing it every time. A little early here, nailed it. A little early here, maybe soon nail it. But my focus is not trying to short this thing. TLDR. My focus is trying to get longer from more optimal positions, and definitely I'd like to pay myself somewhere through here if I expect a dip to come, right? You don't want to see a nice gain and then most of that gain wiped away and then no balls and no powder to go buy this dip. I can only buy this dip if I sell some part of this rip, because I'm mostly in now, guys. I don't have much dry powder left. I was looking today, somebody showed me on this coin, or somebody told me swap was breaking out. And I was like, damn it. I don't have any money to buy swap. Oh, it is breaking out. Fuck. Since they told me this morning. Good old trading. Here we are, boys. Let's get it. Let's go get a better chart. This is a fucking chart right here. Oh, this is everything you want to see in a market, boys and ladies, boys and girls. This is what you want to see. Okay? Volume on the downtrend dwindling. That means sellers are running out of interest. They're not too keen on getting out of here anymore. All the sellers are dried up. Oh, I didn't buy the bottom. Who cares? Wait for the trend reversal. Right here. Bulls waking up. Consistently higher buy volume. Consistently higher. Breakout. That breakout in volume actually came in 2 days ago while I was not on my computer. Not that I would have stared at this chart for sure, but it always seems to be the case, right? It happens. So we've got rising buy volume, rising price, but slowly, like barely trending up. And today we've got this little breakout. So is that the end of the move? No, it's the start of the move. Do I want to race in and buy whatever this is, like a 20% day? Ugh, I have a really hard time doing that shit. I really do. Like I can't buy that on the hourly. Yeah, I could buy it on the daily. Just say, fuck it, $1.12. I'm going to buy a fuckload. And then I'm going to sell it at a $2.24. You know, sell half of it. And in that case, this is a really good project, by the way. Very bullish on this one. The founder was on the show in January. Smart guy. They've been like acquiring other companies. Like they're moving fast, and they're still kind of weirdly under the radar for the broader blue chip discussion. Obviously, they're not there yet. 224. So like 100% move. If I can just say, okay, I'm not going to do my normal trading plan here. I'm going to do sort of a little old lady. So I got the breakout here. I'm going to take half a position and buy it. Say, fuck it. I'm going to buy the pump. Don't care. If it dips, I'll take the other half of the position. I'll buy that. And I'm just going to set it and forget it until it hits this level. If it ever does, if it ever doesn't, I lose everything. Okay? At this level, I sell half of whatever I have. Half or full position, I just sell half of it. So I had $1, and I now have $2. I take my dollar back. I now have a risk-free position to ride something that could potentially run. Run. So that might be what I'm going to do with swap here. I don't have much liquidity, but I have enough to buy a little, well, stick a little bullet in. Dixie. Somebody said Dixie. I know there's a lot of requests, and I usually see the most recent one, and somebody's like, oh, fucking idiot, I asked first. Well, we're on the Dixie. Dixie looks good. Look, this is savage. This is savage. I was checking this earlier. 1 pip. So up here, now if you look up to these numbers up here, can you see those? Yeah. So look at these red and green numbers up here. And as I hover over that candle, you can see the H, 93.191. That's the high. 191. This high here, 192. So 1/1000th of a penny, they swept the highs here and then dumped it. That's exactly what you want to see if you're looking for this thing to go down. As we approach resistance, sweep the goddamn high and get the fuck out of the way, bulls, because we're dumping it. So that's what you wanted to see up here. This did not look great for anyone who wants this thing to go down. For those of you who don't know, this is the dollar index, and it can be said historically that it correlates inversely to Bitcoin price. So if it's going to break into a huge long rally, that would probably shake the Bitcoin market. Ultimately, that would shake the altcoin market. So this dump, this rejection, this swing failure pattern, this is great news. But we really need to break down below this trend line. So next key level on the Dixie, right here, 90. Let's just say, what are we going to call that? Let's look at the low, 91782. So I'm gonna put an alert for that. 782. So if we trade below that, we'll call it Dixie breakdown. That my phone will let me know. Thank you, TradingView. And I can actually, I had an old breakdown there. It didn't happen. Delete. Okay, so yeah, I'll find out if it breaks down. And actually, I should kind of know if it goes up too. Let's see. 93192. 93193. Now, there's people out there that say the Dixie matters less and less every year, and it probably is not a big deal. That's cool. Trade your plan. But I like to know. So right now, good news on the Dixie. Moving on. Keep Network. Oh my God, guys, there's so many good names. So we're running into the situation where there's just too much to look at, and what you don't want to do is get caught buying into the hype of someone else, right? So you go on Twitter, it's like, oh, this is the coin today. Look at it, it's pumping. And then you're like, yeah, and you get in, you buckle up, you're like, I'm in my rocket, I'm ready to go. And then it consolidates, pulls back. And then some other fucking thing hits the leaderboard. And then you look over there, you're like, oh shit, that was the rocket. And you go and okay guys, I'm ready, going to the moon. And that one fucking, and then your fucking coin that you were in last week starts to take off. Don't do that. That's called musical chairs, hot potato, whatever. Have a plan, position yourself with size enough that it matters to you. $10, you're probably not staring at it very much. It doesn't do anything for you. If it 100x's, well, 10 to 100x is not bad. 100x anything's not bad, let's be real. But the point is, have enough that it matters, but don't put so much that that you can't get into other opportunities as they come up, and B, that you have to sell if it goes down, in one of those little consolidation dips. That's how you get out of a good position. So what was I going to look up? Keep is one that made the cut for me. But Coin Paprika just doesn't have the history that I want. Does anyone use Coin Paprika? I think I went to it once in 4 years. Look at this thing. Ooh. Yeah. Look at all this volume coming up the lows, just breaking out today. And I think I saw Messiah post the Bitcoin chart. Also looking really, really good. I mean, look, this is what we're looking at on Wednesday. Someone's buying a fuckload of Keep. So what are they going to do with their position? They're going to let it dump below? Look at all the money they have. Think they're going to let this position go underwater? Nope. They're going to pump it. They're going to let the roof off this thing. Never a guarantee. Not financial advice. I don't know what's going to happen. But if you look at charts long enough and you start to see these things, you just say, get me long, please. I spot smart money. I would like to be long with them. It's still a gamble. They're not always right. If they were, they wouldn't have to trade very much anymore. They'd have all the money in the world. It'd be done. Market's closed. But my God, there is no better place to be than on the side of somebody with $1 billion backing your position. Let's just put it that way. Oh yeah, Badger. Let's go see Badger. I'm going to try to just cycle through some coins, guys. Y'all already know what I'm long on. I'm long on all these. Damn it, Coin Paprika. Can I just not look at your things? I'm all flustered now, Coin Paprika. Making me hungry too. Fuck. Here we go. God, Badger. Oh, you guys saw I posted this on Twitter. Did not buy any. I don't know why. I was so bullish on DeFi. I think I was bullish on DeFi like a week after I posted this chart. The point of the post was to basically say, like, Badger's ready. All this, people married their bags, probably got divorced by now. The bottom's in. We ran out of sellers. You can see it on the chart. There was just no sellers left as we approached these lows. No one showed up. And then the buyers came in. And they put in a floor. And then the breakout came. And if you look closely and you chart this stuff, you can actually see the moment when we should have been getting long. So if you guys did, congrats. This throwback, again, sometimes they fail, but when they hit perfectly. It's worth a shot as long as you're getting 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10 to 1 on your money. And in this case, I think people are going to end up in a pretty fucking great spot. Let's say we're going to risk to this little wick for some reason. I don't know, 18%. Because this is that's like, 38%. Even at 38%, if this thing goes back to its previous all-time highs, that's fucking 18 to 1. Even if you risk 40% on the position. My God, why didn't I buy Badger? Oh well. I'd be lying if I said I bought it here too. I bought it at 23 back here and then sold at 60. So I did have a good trade. I don't know, maybe I should be looking here for continuation trade. There is such a thing. Can anyone say bot? Is there a bot long setting up here? Shout out to anyone here at TRI who knows what the hell I'm talking about. I don't have all my fibs set up for the bot stuff. Maybe we could do it on here. Trading view. Badger market cap. Nah. Is there enough history here? Yeah, there is. Okay, like for fun, let's just do it. Let's see if there's a bot here. Nope. Well, that settles that. So the bot basically, the price has to have a leg and then pull back to at least the 33, but no more than the 66. And so that might look something like this. And then it has to put in 3 higher lows. So that might look something like that. 1, 2, 3. And then, if you're wondering, okay, let's just say it came down to there. And then we'll switch this to here. And it's really an ABCD harmonic trade. So you're looking at that. And you just copy that and drag it to that low, that imaginary low that I made. And it comes up here. And so once you get these 3 higher lows and price moves back above this 25 line, then it's like, now you have a trade. And the trade looks like this. Risk to that low, risk all the way up to here. And you usually get about 3 to 1. So that you know, that's like the other way to trade this. I'm like, oh, okay, I missed the breakup, missed the bottom. Let's see if after leg 1 I can get some kind of continuation trade like this. And if you want to see one playing out in action, we actually have one in our ideas section. If you guys aren't on TradingView yet, get with the program. Come on now. YouTube's great, but it's not the whole picture. And on TradingView, you can't delete your trade ideas. So you don't get as many LARPs. And if they exist, you'll spot their shitty trades all the time. This is that trade on Solana playing out in March when it was already quite expensive, but I wanted to buy more and I didn't want to just ape into the highs. So I found a setup that worked. It didn't actually fill here, but I aped in a bit because it just looks so fucking strong. So it's almost like a bad example because I kind of cheated, but it worked out. So, whoops. And I love this too because you can play and you can, like, even after the trade is clearly finished, you can like see where it went after. But that was it. And here you move your stop loss to scratch. At the 6.6 you move your stop loss to trail, and then at the 1 you technically take all your profit. And somebody did because the price dumped right after. So that's a bot long. There's a few of them on our TradingView ideas section. But if you guys haven't yet, check out this ideas section, man. We've been putting out a lot of good trade ideas, like catching Vet right before the big nuke last year. I don't even trade half of these. I probably should. Dragon Chain, I think it kind of went flat before it took off. Never really did take off. So, but if you look through this, oh, this one's fun. Smacked the target right here. This Chaos PRZ just boop, bing. And then it actually ended up rewarding later. But yeah, we'll have some fun here. This is the one that pipped. Watch this Chaos PRZ, guys. This is why I talk about this shit all the time. Look at this thing. Bing! Like, imagine being able to punt a trade 3 months into the future to a fucking penny. I'm not a god, guys. This is simple stuff. You just got to learn it. You got to practice it. I also didn't trade this one very well. Being an analyst is so much easier than being a trader. But I did make some good money off Ocean. I just didn't hold it to that pip. It would have been way cooler. Okay, enough flexing the ideas section, RT. Let's go back to what's happening now. How about CRV? CRV might be my favorite bag right now. And that doesn't mean it's my favorite place to buy it right now for anyone watching. But this just... that thread that I posted in the chat earlier, that gets into CRV. Yeah, I'm going to look up Ghost in a bit, guys. I see Ghost a couple times. I appreciate it, and I will look at it. I do have a bag. Small one. Tiny little bucket of it. This thread talks about CRV, CVX, the governance war that's taking place between a couple different factions like Yield and Convex. Now, Convex is supported by Curve. So do they have an edge in taking over the Curve governance and winning that, so to speak, war? Yes, probably. Are they winning that war on a sort of a trend basis? I think so. Based on that thread that I read. So now, did they just break out on the daily and they look like they're ready to fucking rock it? Yep. They did. Now here's what I like about this chart, because on the daily I don't see any explosive volume just yet, but look here. Right here, you see a storm brewing. You see kind of like, not that much interest, and then it's like, oh, uptick in volume, new floor, higher floor, and there's just this kind of consistent, you see here, like the average volume is low, average volume is increasing. So there's a storm brewing. Now it's at new local highs this exact moment. Yeah, it's not like, but we've been talking about it through all this, right? In fact, I was on Twitter when I did this getting told I was stupid. So there you go. That I would be wrong. Well, so far we're going well. And so what you want to do with this kind of thing, if it's an investment, versus a trade, you got to know your plan. For me, it's a bit of both. Like I kind of entered it as a trade and I was like, fuck, I started reading about it more and learning about the Curve ecosystem and all this stuff. And then I was like, well, let's look at the valuations. What is the market cap? What is the TVL? What is Curve's market cap and TVL? Where could this go versus other competitors? And can they capture some monstrous market share in the world? Curve is talking about the Forex market, 6 trillion in volume. Can they exchange stable coins, so efficiently that they can steal some of that market share? Is that the scale that I should be thinking about with this, so that I don't end up selling on like the first or second month of a monstrous multi-year pump? I don't know. So I won't be all out of this probably anytime soon, but I will take some profits at key levels with the, the hopes of possibly buying some back later, trading the waves, right? Because if we do something like this, like that, it wouldn't look like that. That's a stupid squiggly. But you know what I mean? Like if we rally and then retrace and then we rally and then we retrace, like I'd like to be trading that. So I'll probably do some of that, but not with my whole bag. I'd like to have an investment bag. It's staking. It's getting a decent APY. It's a single asset staking too. So Curve looks great. And again, if you're stuck in disbelief and you've been staring at weird bear charts online and you want to, trade those. But if you want to be a bull and you just can't get your head past the emotion, then inverting your chart can work really well. And I'll tell you, if you invert your chart and you see price try to make a high, made a higher high, made a lower high, and then broke down and is now breaking through support and looks ready to dump, if you're on the other emotional side of the market right now, just flip your chart upside down. I wish I knew how to do that. Somebody in the chat just tell me. I never do it. Talking about doing it because it's effective, but I don't even know the code. It's like 0 - 1 or something. I don't know. Dude, I sold my Badger at $11 for some reason. Yeah, for 10% profit. Yeah, well, small advantage in the chat is really putting the exclamation point on everything I talked about early in the show today about disbelief. That's why you did it. You did it because you're in pain, because you just got destroyed by the market, I'm assuming, like most people did. And so when you go and capture a gain, you're like, wow, give me that gain. I need to realize that profit because I'm sick of losing, and you just feel good. And then the market, you're like, oh, fuck, we're in a bull trend. I'm trading it like a bear trend, selling little bounces, right? Because in a bear trend, you want to do that, right? If you're in a bear market and you're like, oh, fuck, I made a little gain, get out. I made a little gain, get out. Well, we're not in that anymore. We're in a bull trend. So it should be the opposite. Buy a little more. Buy a little more, buy a little more. Like, you just have to adapt. And it's the hardest thing as a trader is to be early on the trend reversals mentally. Because I'll tell you what, guys, and I'm just picking on CRV because it's the chart I see right now, but if we get into this environment, you are going to have such an easy time buying this, and you're going to have a very easy time holding it through the dips, because every dip you sold to that point was a mistake. So this dip, you're like, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to sell that dip. And that's how tops come in. Then you're going to get that top, and then you're not going to sell the dip, and you're going to get stuck doing exactly what you did in Q2. And I don't say you as in not me. I do this too. I don't anymore, but I have before. This is what I've learned. I'm sharing it with you. So getting in early to trends, if this is what that becomes, which it looks like it is, then allows you to be in a really strong position as these tops come in, whenever they do, wherever they do. And then, and then really train yourself to spot that reversal and act on it quickly. So you can get your dry powder up and then be patient for the next trend. The cool thing is this took 3 years to learn, from 2017, 2018, 2019. And we just got it like a crash test right here. I mean, this was a full cycle, guys. And you got it in 1 year. We had the whole fucking thing. Capitulation, anger, depression. I mean, tell me there wasn't a ton of anger on Twitter during this. It was like literally the anger phase. And then the depression phase, everyone got kind of quiet and lost hope, and it was bad. And now it's like we're stuck thinking about disbelief. It has to be a bear. So what about WDC? I bought some, but if we're in alt season, should I rotate it? No advice, please. Sounds like it wants some advice, Paul Young. No, WBTC. Yeah, okay, let's talk about rotation. Because all the alts look sick right now. Bitcoin is trending up. That's obvious. Okay, let's talk about when next thing. That's right here. We got to look at the Bitcoin dominance. Now, I have been mixed up on my opinions about Bitcoin dominance. It's not been behaving as predictably as as it had been through this. Last year, we had a really good time trading this on our Twitter. Getting long Bitcoin, short alts. at least not short, not short alts, but like, not long. We had some really good times last year on our Twitter through this, and then obviously captured this. It was great. And now we're just in this consolidation range. It's a little tricky. You've got to look at ETH BTC to get a sense of what altcoins might do. Less and less, perhaps. That's a proxy, but it's still the proxy. And then Bitcoin dominance. Right now, look at what we've done. I should probably redraw this chart just to get a fresh perspective because I've been staring at it this way for a while. But, okay, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's make a copy. Let's do it. We'll do it live. Because something just happened that I've been waiting for a while, and I told myself after this happened I would flip my bias. And you know what we did? We tagged. See, like here, dominance should tag 20-week MA sometime this quarter. I wrote that, back here, like in May. It was just like, look, it's got to happen. It's moving averages. They track price, so eventually they'll interact. Before we broke down here, we tested from the underside. Before we continue after this kind of reversal, we should test it from the underside. Well, we just did. So I need to now be aware that we could be about to jump off a cliff. Because if you ask me, what's your thesis on Bitcoin dominance over the next months, years, whatever, I think 20%. I really do. I don't see any way that ETH and ADA, whatever, I don't have any, don't shoot me, but it's a big project and apparently they're going to have something soon. Aave, like, name your blue chip, name your high cap. Like, I don't see any way that all of those collectively together don't get enough adoption and grow in market cap and value to like offset Bitcoin, and where Bitcoin's 50% of crypto. Bitcoin was 100% of crypto on day one. That dominance as a function of growth and innovation should fall off a cliff. And the cool part is, it doesn't mean Bitcoin price has to go down, right? We could be looking at 20% Bitcoin dominance with Bitcoin over 300K. How sexy is that future? That's the future that I'm here for. That's 10 trillion market cap plus kind of stuff, even higher. I mean, think of it. I get so bull-tarded sometimes, like in my head. I don't want to say it because I just sound like a moon boy, but we are us. Like, take your wildest predictions of what you think could happen to this market. You're underestimating the potential. There, I said it. So even some of these bolder predictions that sound stupid, like Thomas Lee in 2018, right before the bear market, said Bitcoin in the next 20 years could reach $10 million. Sounds really stupid. It may not sound stupid in 10, 20 years. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, dominance looks like it's ready to resume trend, it looks like, from this perspective. So I have to keep that in mind. I don't want to get stuck thinking it has to, reverse up into all this. Because that's, there's like a weekly resistance here. Like, is it going to come up? ETH BTC, like, nobody trades market dominance, although apparently there's a perp now on a couple exchanges that you can do that. But it's really a proxy of the majors, namely this one, ETH BTC. And, we came into that key level. Did I trade it? Nope. I don't really want to. It looks like a bullish reversal here. It looks like continuation. Tag the 20-week moving average moving up. But yeah, if Bitcoin dominance was going to, shoot up and hit these levels, that would be very much in line with like this happening. And then, so, pick your poison. Do you want to short ETH after 1559 as a ratio to Bitcoin, or do you just want to get online with the trend, which is still up? This was a pretty gnarly fake out if we don't ever trend below this. It's not bad to be wrong. It's bad to stay wrong though. So yeah, I'd say the look of this looks really fucking good. Like everything I'm seeing in altcoins, and then I see this, and I'm like, damn, Bitcoin dominance looks like it wants to puke the lows. Could you imagine the smorgasbord, the orgy of buying in altcoins if Bitcoin lost its all-time lows in Bitcoin dominance? Let's see if that'll happen. That'd be nice. Let's order one of those pizzas. Love that. I heard Ecofy banks for the Holt family, RBC, and Binance as well. Is this true? Josh Bowman. You know what? What are your thoughts on Ecofy, EQX? Any insight there? Yeah, Josh, I'm really bullish on Ecofy. Full disclosure, I invested in it back in the spring. My fund is an investor in that one. So I'm going to probably disclose that because nobody likes a shitty, dirty shell in their bag, see? But let's take a look at the chart because it just launched. You know, y'all asked about it. Let's go see. It's a new chart. There's not a lot of price history. But in a nutshell, it's like a full suite DeFi platform. How many of those do we have? Do we need another? Well, I'll tell you what's unique about this one in my eyes, because Bank is a bank. It's an established, kind of more innovative, futuristic digital bank based in Europe. And pretty sure it's Europe. Hope so. Haven't done my due diligence in like 5 months. But they have that existing user base. They have that infrastructure. They have funding. They did a pretty big raise. I think it was over 20 mil. So they have really good funding, and they're going to create this DeFi ecosystem platform that's basically going to, you know, so it's like a lot of people are building DeFi platforms saying we're going to replace banks, we're going to be better than banks, we're going to steal users from banks. In this case, you have Bank, who's like, we are a bank and we recognize the value of DeFi and we want to offer it to our clients. We're going to create this, and it has a token. So yeah, I'm long on EQX, and for what it's worth, I think the seed and private sale prices were 5 and 10 cents. So anyone who invested in those rounds is in profit, and they have 10% unlocked, maybe 15, 20. It's monthly unlocks for a year. So keep that kind of stuff in mind, right? Because it can be bullish, but if the demand doesn't keep up to that new supply entering every month, you know, you may see what we often see in these projects, new launches, where it just kind of like comes out, it's fun, and then it washes out, and then it chills. But this one gives me Nexo vibes. It really does. It really does. Now look at what Nexo did. Because like anything, I don't know what's going to happen to price. I haven't sold one for what it's worth. I mean, it's up like 8x. Like, I'm not selling. Not fucking selling because I have Nexo vibes. And if you look at Nexo, let's go look at Nexo. Here. Nexo is a dope platform. And I longed it a few weeks ago. I don't know if that's my take profit. Probably is, just because this looks like it wants another leg. But yeah, I'm long on Nexo. I don't talk about it much as like a coin, because for the longest time since I started talking about it, it just didn't have a good setup. Like, this was way too overbought. This was like a bear, and I don't know why I didn't talk about it the other day. It's kind of quietly went and picked up a bag. But either way, this thing was trading at 11 cents last year. It ICO'd, I forget. It was like 2019, 2018. I tried to get in for the pre-sale. I submitted an application. It was full. I got rejected. Anyways, Nexo has token value. If you hold a certain percentage of your portfolio on Nexo in Nexo tokens, you get a higher APY. You get, 10 or 12% instead of 8% or 6%, whatever it is. So there's real value to holding that token until it starts trending down, and then no matter what your APY increase is, it doesn't matter because the tokens you're holding go down so much in value that it offsets. So you get the dumps, as the market does. Well, I think the trend is reversed here. And I think Nexo, at 1 billion market cap, is a strong token. And Nexo is an Eastern European bank, by the way. That's why it reminds me of Ecofy. And Ecofy, let's see what it is. EQX. Ecofy. $6 million market cap. Yeah, I'm not selling. Fuck. Total supply 500 million. Circulating supply is low, though. Keep that in mind. What is fully diluted? Doesn't show on here. We should calculate it. That's an important metric because, like I said, for the next year, every month, there's a new tranche of tokens being released onto the market. This could be, this could be a hold. May not be one to get into and rush to trade. Let's do a little math here. 0.46. I probably don't even need a calculator, but I'm going to use one because I'm sleepy. Yeah, it's $230 million market cap, fully diluted. So take that for what it is. I still think it's got potential. It takes a year to dilute. And I'm not here to flip. I'm not here to, invest in innovation and then flip it on launch day. So, yeah. And the bulls are kind of waking up here. So I got into it. Josh Bowman, thank you for bringing up Ecofy. And you said you heard that they bank for the RBC and Binance as well. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But it wouldn't shock me because they're clearly a forward-thinking bank. They're out. I don't know what part of Europe, but they're in Europe, and they're crypto-friendly. Obviously, they're building a DeFi platform. So if they are now servicing the banking needs of other, Binance, whatever, that makes sense. I don't know that though. Cannot confirm or deny. Insurance sector, yeah. NXM. God, there's so many good coins in there. I'm just gonna keep jumping back to the chat and pulling out ideas, guys. So thank you for posting those. Where's NXM? NXM. Nexus Mutual. WXN. WNM. I think I have the wrapped one. I forget which one I bought, but I bought something. A little bag. Basically, I had a wallet with 5 ETH in it, and I just went and like sprinkled it into like NFTX and NXM and that Ghost one. And I don't track that wallet. It's like a hodl wallet for now, anyways. So yeah, insurance is big, especially with like $600 million hack this week, or exploit, I should say. There's going to be a lot more of those, and every single time somebody eats shit for one of those, the need for insurance goes up. And 600 million reasons recently why that should go. Is BTC mooning? Oh, it is. Where's a short-term chart? Oh yeah, we got the breakout. Love that. And so you see, class, why were we trying to short this shit? Let the goddamn trend play out. Right? We talked about it at the start of the stream, so it's very nice to be validated right here. And I bet you with this kind of breakout, because it was like highs, resistance, and so this breakout becomes more significant. So don't be shocked if some Bitcoin pairs, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, are dumping on this hourly. Yeah. So we're going to get some inverse price action here. But not too concerned about my alts here. Because versus USD, they'll often kind of do okay. So you're not like optimal because Bitcoin's moving more, but let's go look at like one of my bigger bags, Sushi versus Bitcoin. It's a daily. It had a crazy run. It didn't stop running this week. So it actually didn't react on this hourly, which is really nice. And then on USD, it actually moved up with Bitcoin. So that's great because obviously it didn't react downwards on Bitcoin, so it must be moving up with Bitcoin, and there it is. Yeah, I'm not too worried about alts here. Look, Bitcoin doing well is always good. It's always good. Now, if it does really well in a short period of time, it can sting when you look at your USD value trickling up while everything moons, like Bitcoin moons, and your USD value just trickles up, and then your Bitcoin value dumps, right? So just say you have like one Bitcoin portfolio, and then Bitcoin rips, but you're in all altcoins. So the next day you look and you have about the same USD, and your Bitcoin now says like 0.75, your equivalent value, like, that stings. Keep an eye on this trend line though, guys. We're not out of the woods yet. Maybe that's why. So maybe it's not as significant as I thought. But this is what I was saying at the start of the show, right, guys? Like, this kind of price action is just, it's rising wedge type shit. So if you want to be bearish about it, don't rush to be bearish about it. Wait for the fucking breakdown. Because this is you getting stopped, you deciding to stay bullish because you're sick of getting stopped. Boom, boom, dead. Uncanny. Market will do that to you. So we are coming into trendline resistance. Is what it is. I'm not really micro charting this thing. I'm more excited about the altcoins, and that's probably why like this Sushi Bitcoin pair barely moved, because from this perspective, like, it's not that significant of a breakout yet. Breakout to new highs though. Bitcoin breaks to new highs, I'll be getting the fuck out of all my altcoins, like just about. Not my investments, like I say that, and it's like, well, am I going to sell my EQX? Like I just talked about, I'm kind of in for, the VC haul, like 1 to 2 years. No, I'm not going to sell that one. $6 million market cap. Like, no, I'm out of like my bigger bags that are trade bags that are trading on exchanges. Like, yeah, if Bitcoin breaks to new highs, get the fuck out of those, probably, for me. So that's that. Oh, you know what I did this week? I'm glad you brought up Doge. Crypto Dog shielded me into Doge. I was so sick of seeing him friggin' tweet about it. And I just said, I'm going to fucking buy some. This is not my setup, don't worry. That's a terrible setup. This is clearly nothing I would ever do. But that was me fucking around. I don't know where my entry is. I think it's like 26.7, but I actually did buy a fat bag of Doge. Because I think he's right. You know, as much as I want to hate on it, he's like, you know, he was saying some kind of ridiculous shit like, if you want generational wealth, why are you not all in on Doge? Like, you know, I know he's not all in on Doge, so he's just shit posting. But he's not wrong. You know, let's look at the chart. You know, Dogecoin is a shitcoin. It's like the memeiest shitcoin ever. And I didn't trade it through all of this. Keep that in mind. So I'm like the opposite of somebody who would shill Dogecoin. But let's look objectively at it. You know, it's come into the lows, come into the reload zone. Even had a nice setup for anyone who cared to trade Doge in the reload zone of the reload zone right here. So, you know, bounce off the lows in volume, wait for the trickle in there, get a little horny, risk to the lows. You get a nice fucking crazy trade. Like that 88.6, I mean, God, the invalidation was like 7% away. Infinite upside, right? Point is, we've seen a reversal now. We've saw a sick breakout. It was basically like, well, on Akita and some of the other dog tokens, it was like a 2x right here. And what do you see in volume, right? Sellers running out. Buyers coming in, sellers running out. Consistent growth in buy volume. Now, there was some sells here. Don't ignore that. Although, I have a sneaking suspicion that that was maybe more buying. Yeah. So this one daily candle happened to end up closing red after this huge green breakout. But it was all buying, you can see. I mean, look at that. Just look at this. You want to know what coin's going to move? Look for this shit. Look for that. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about me. Hello, something's coming. So I saw that and I said, fuck it. I'll buy some Doge. That is all. I caved. TLDR. RT caved. Bought a shitcoin. An uber shitcoin. So let's see how this ages. You know, is the top in because I finally bought some, or can we get... Oh, maybe we have a bot like we talked about earlier. Let's see if we can draw one up. Looks like there is one here. So we came down. We went past 33, but not quite at the 66. So there's a possible trade here. We have a low. We have a higher low. We have a higher low. So we have 3 higher lows. Now let's draw it up for the extension. Probably should have traded this, although I aped into it from the hospital bed. No, I wasn't in the hospital bed, but you know what I mean. The hospital wing. And, wow. We're kind of way into the trade already, so it's not a good one. But, you know, arguably, once it broke out above this 25, there's a trade there. But we're well into it, so don't trade this bot. I mean, trade it if you want, but y'all missed it. About 3 to 1. 291. So anyways, yeah, we kind of had a bot here, but it was not easy to catch. You know, it probably would have to front run that last triple high, so then you're not even trading a bot, you're trading some weird abomination. But after this bullish breakout, like buying that 25 line right here, yeah, then there's a trade there, but I don't know where I bought it. I bought it somewhere in here at 26.7, like right here. And I'm just holding it for now. Not on the 4 hour though, it's more of a daily thing. Because I look at this and I just, you know, zoom into that 4 hour, you see all that volume, I'm like, fuck, where's this thing going? Well, my guess is that it's going at least to the Gann 50-50, which, oh, happens to be support resistance, as it so often is, because fucking fibs are freaky. So that's my trade, and I'm sticking to it. My stop loss is Hades. Yeah, 60%. Doge. Yeah, so like if Doge does this, go find a dog coin. I guarantee you SHIB probably looks identical because the whole world realizes now how well these work together. So you're going to see that same buy volume coming in on SHIB, that same breakout candle, that same consolidation, and now that same continuation. And you're going to see it over on Akita and any other super liquid dog tokens. I won't get into the dog stuff too deep here because then I would hate myself. But somebody brought this up on stream the other day, and I said I don't like it because Doge hasn't moved. And then Doge moved. Or I noticed Doge had moved after, and I was like, well, fuck, I mean, he's probably onto something. So, the cool thing is, if Doge really runs, which it looks like it will, where'd it go? Oh, SHIB. Yeah, if Doge really runs, SHIB, Akita, they're all going to run. But I don't know if I want to trade all these proxies. I don't have any need to make money 3 times. I'll just put it into Doge because it's liquid and I can use stop losses and all that. But might have a higher, more asymmetric return potential on something like Akita, whatever the hell that is. If you can have 1 shitcoin, you can have 2, you can have 10, whatever. Yeah, this thing might just be less liquid, so it's like boom, nuke. Yeah, good stuff. Jesse Brower says, "Hey RT, how you doing? I'm doing well, man. Thanks for asking. Good to see you. Welcome." Hit the like, guys. Hit the like button if you like it. If you don't like it, so if you don't like it, fuck off. No. If you don't like it, let me know why. Hit me in the comments. Tell me you hate me, and then I'll ask you why you're here. But no, hit me with a like if you guys want. Sub to the channel if you don't want, and hit the bell. Hit the bell. There's going to be a lot more content coming up from us. I say that all the time, but then I had a baby, guys. I swear to God, I planned it. Just didn't go to plan. What are we looking at here? Shroom, somebody just asked me about. Ro Jogan, my man. Do I still hold my Shroom? Yes. The reason I'm question marking that, watch, I'm going to go actually check right now. Because I did go and take some profit, but I don't think I took it on Shroom because it was not up enough. It was up nice, don't get me wrong. Do I have my Shroom? Yep. I didn't sell my Shroom. I'm holding a bag. I sold half my NFTX because it was over a double, and I'm glad I did because look at it now. Shroom looks great, by the way. We'll come right back. But let's go take a look at NFTX. Yeah, dumping. So I picked this up around when I picked up the Shroom, whenever that was, $75. And then last weekend, I don't know. It was up 3x, and I was like, fuck it, I'm selling half. And I'm weirdly happy to see it go down now because I wanted to buy more. So what would I do here? Well, so that's kind of cool because I looked at all those bags and I only sold the one that's dumping. Sometimes you just get lucky, guys. And if you can manage risk, then all that luck will add up and your bad luck won't mean much. So in the end, you can grow. Yeah, let's get into here on NFTX. Why not? Can I get a reload at the 120, please, sir? Confident with support. So I'd like to reload NFTX. I'm bullish on it. I don't even know why. People that are smart that actually know what it does are bullish on it. It's a proxy bullish for me. It's one of those ones where I kind of cheated the system and I didn't do my own research. And that's why crypto is so dangerous. Because if you guys were to listen to me talk about this thing and then go get it, you're getting it from a guy who didn't research it and got it from a guy who maybe didn't research it because he got it from... Do your own research. But if you know smart guys, it's actually Ledger Status is the one who showed me on this back here. I only bought a little, but I did trade it well, and then now I'm buying a little more. Don't know why I'm still on this chart. I wanted to talk about Shroom. Let's go check it out. And this is now called Nifty X Protocol, which is a way better name than Shroom. Shroom is a fucking meme from the get-go. And I guess as things happen, early success often makes you reflect on your life choices and think to yourself, we should be more serious, guys. No one's going to take us serious if we're called Shroom. Now they're Nifty Protocol. Something I would totally invest in. Anyways, this looks good. It looks good because it had a strong breakout after a long downtrend and now is just trickling into buy zones. So I didn't sell it. And in fact, even though I didn't take any profit on that initial pump, I may add. It was a small-ish... Fuck, shoulder's killing me. Small-ish bag. So let's look at what would a throwback level be. Because that's what I said on Twitter. I said, let's look at some key levels on things. Advertising this episode. So let's do it. I'm not sure what I'm trying to do there. 2 things at once, apparently. There we go. Boop, beep. Yeah, something like that. We get a nice little SR level here. That would align with the reload zone, as they often do. I'm telling you, man, if you're not trading these fibs yet, if you're not trying to learn how to chart these things and playing with levels, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You go from randomly buying and selling shit to having some kind of a plan. So even when you get wrecked, you're like, well, at least I bought low. Or, you know, if you sell and it keeps going because it hit the Chaos PRZ like Axis did, well, at least you sold high. Look what Axis did. You know, like if you're like, oh, I'm a trader, I'm going to sell at the fib extension, I'm going to sell. Well, you got paid, even though you ended up kept going. Now this is coming into, I don't know, now we're going to talk about Axis apparently. This is me. Yeah. So caution for new longs. Don't know where I wrote that, but apparently they didn't listen. Anyways, this is coming into a level. There's no two ways about it. You've got kind of a full cycle playing out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into chaos level number 2. I will never buy an asset ever at this level, and I'll be okay. Doesn't mean it's the top, but my God, it's the more likely top than any top has ever been a top. The difference here is that they have underlying revenues and explosive player growth and actual usage. So this is a chart that could break the mold, and that still doesn't mean this is a buy, but it has a higher potential to be kind of an up and to the right type chart where it just doesn't do an 80%er, you know, unless they have a major bug or some big issue. And if you don't think those exist in crypto, you haven't been paying attention, because ones that are tied to user growth and revenue actually can have that form. I will direct your attention to the Binance chart, because Binance coin, that's the same kind of thing. They had users, they had revenues, and they never really dumped past a certain point. They still went on some nasty dumps. I mean, they didn't have the users and the revenue here, clearly, right? And this was the China banned Bitcoin, dropped 80% from the highs, very gross. And then they grew a little more, and then they died at COVID, and they grew a little more, and then people went, holy shit, they have a smart chain. Holy shit, they have the biggest user base in the entire crypto world. Wow. Point is, there is a clear trend of up and to the right. It's not the best example because it still had like big nasty drawdowns, but oh well, you get what I'm saying. So Axis, you know, could it break that mold? Could it break free of total random shitcoin that just dies every time nobody buys it? You know, or is there dynamics at play here that make the play and earn and the lockup in the treasury so sexy that the price just kind of does go up to the right? Either way, this is not the long. This is the higher high. Wait for the higher low. Wait for the higher low, always. You'll get left behind a lot more, but you will never buy the top. And that's what you don't want to do. So where's the pump chaser zone from here? It's right here. Right at support. Right at bullish throwback levels. Holy shit. Look at that, RT. It's like we planned it. So there we go. So what is going on with my trippy text? They're flipping out. Where I might buy some Axis. Down in the 40s. I might. Not before. All right, I'm going to take a look over at TradingView. Nice to see you guys here. Thanks for coming to watch. Maybe we could take a taxi for returning. Oh my God, you said that 40 minutes ago. Sorry, dude. Moon to the Earth. Shorting. Yeah, I don't know. How do you determine the reload zone? I have a video about that. So I want you to check that out, because I put it in that video so that instead of going over it again and again on streams where people kind of already know it because they watched the video, I could just refer you to it. And I wish I was like really cool YouTuber and I'd say it's up there and then click and it'll be there. But that's why we're hiring an intern, because they can do cool insert shit like that. I know how to do it. And then I have to write down where the timestamp was and then go insert it later. We need an intern. Ain't nobody got no time for that. All right, we're getting up top of the hour because I'm talking crazy, but let's go a little further, guys. It's Friday evening. I'm probably going to be pretty chart heavy this weekend because, you know, baby boy's in the hospital. I'll be going back and forth, bringing him milk. I'm the milkman now. I don't produce it, but I deliver it. And then I'm going to just be charting. Not going out, not going too hard, I don't think. So I'll be around this weekend in the Discord, but it's in a nice dip right now. Which one? Chart rail. Okay, somebody keeps bringing up rail. God damn it, I'm going to chart it. Let's take a look at rail. Sorry if you guys have been asking and just, I keep not, oh. Yeah, railgun, look, this could be really cool. This is where like instantly I just don't have enough on the chart to even think about railgun. Let's go look. So in a nutshell, I'll say right away, there's just nothing here on the chart for me to then sit like, oh, there's a setup. I would be chasing on the assumption that this thing is so bullish it's going to keep going. I would have no, you know, back for resistances. Like I can't do a chart trade on this kind of thing. And because the market hasn't had enough time to give it a proper valuation, I struggle with these newer charts. Because a lot of times you get the hype on the entrance because it's new and it's flashy and it's going up. And then whoever invested early or some of these early guys, then they get a chance to come in. And then the guys who bought late because they didn't know what they're buying and they just saw a number go up, they sell and then it depresses. And you get that Gartner hype cycle that starts off most coins. And it, you know, you'll see it everywhere. Let's go look at my favorite coin. We'll come back to this one, but let's go look at my favorite coin to prove the point. Gartner hype cycle right here. I got caught up in this. Now, I did take some profit through here, blah, 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 but it's the same thing. It comes out, right? New coin, very hype, very hype. Sell, sell, sell. Find out where the market values it. Get the smart hands in there. Wait for the buy volume to start ticking up. Now we have fucking, you know, now we have a chart to trade. So you might be like me, and you're so bullish on rail, like I was on ID, that you don't really care. You're like, I'm going to buy here, I'm going to buy here, I'm going to buy here. Okay, I'll sell a little here at that fib extension we had. Then I'm going to buy way too soon here because I'm super bullish. I'm going to buy here. And then I'm going to stop buying because I have such a fucking oversized position. And then I'm going to wait for the reversal and then maybe buy here, buy here, buy here. If that's how you feel about rail, cool. Purely based on the chart, me here on the stream right now, I don't know what to say about it other than that I can't. I just can't. But yeah, man, that's a dip. You know, you're absolutely right. If you're trying to get long on this because you see it being a much higher valuation, what are we, $1 with a max supply? So you're looking at 100 million. So it's not that crazy, right? Top 100 coins are over $1 billion now. Or at least they were in May. Maybe they're not anymore. But point is 100 million can 10x without even being that good of a coin. So I'd be curious what they do. Railgun.ch. Privacy on ETH. Ooh, I do like privacy. I love privacy. Okay, well, I'll look into this. Maybe if you guys want to come into the Discord and just red pill me on that, maybe go into the research chat, post some of what made you really bullish on it. I'd love to look into it. And maybe you red pill me, and maybe next week I'm singing a different tune about how I went and bought the top of rail. Also interested in B21. B21's good. It looks good. As an app, I use B21. That's actually the crypto card I use. You know, it's tap Visa. Everywhere Visa is accepted, you can load your funds onto the B21 app. B21 Invest. And the coin is just having trouble getting volume. But, you know, I work with this team. We invested in them, as you guys know, from back like last year. Like, we put in a strategic investment around here when they first launched. They raised in 2018. So, yeah, I think I wrote about them in the newsletter once, too. So, and they've, you know, like, yeah, never short a quiet market. That's what they say. So we are working on tokenomics with the team, finding new and creative ways. I think NFT Trade, if I'm not mistaken, has like a staking option now for B21. So we're working in different tokenomics. You know, right now you stake a certain amount, you get to unlock a better card. But it's dope. Yeah, I'm a big fan. You don't got to ask me twice. I like B21. I use the app. So when I use something, I tend to want to invest in it. And the card's dope. Yeah, I go around and I tap it, I buy a beer, tap it at the golf course. In fact, I was going to make a video of them for them using it just because, you know, be like, hey, look at me, I'm using my card. It is pretty cool to load crypto into an app, swap it to USD, load it onto your card, and essentially with a couple extra steps, you're spending your crypto. Which I don't go crazy with, right? We're investing in crypto, not spending it, but it is nice to be able to like scalp something in a day trade and then make a couple $100 and then throw it onto your card and then go out for beer that night and pay for it. Like that, I love that shit. So yeah, bullish on it. And you know, the chart right now is struggling. They need a catalyst. I know that there is some good stuff coming up. So it's just about market conditions. And wow, did it twice. Everyone have a drink. Okay, so it is in the reload zone. Yeah, I mean, look, dude, it's at the 88.6. They're building. Their users are growing month over month. And here's the last thing I'll say about them, because you asked. They are the only crypto card that I know of, so prove me wrong, that is focused in Asia. So you have Swipe, you have Crypto.com, major competitors. It's hard to crack that market. But those guys are focused on Europe, North America. B21 can serve Europe and North America, so they're not doing that. But their primary focus is on Asia, an underserved, criminally underserved in banking and cards. So can they capture that? And as those users buy up their coin to stake it on the app to unlock the card to actually use it, yeah. And then you can, if you do store Bitcoin on there, you can swipe, and they partnered with Celsius. So all that to say, like, go use it, whatever. But like, I think people will like this, and I think it's going to grow. So yeah, I am not selling my B21 bags. It's one of my larger holdings, actually. Hope mama and boy are healthy. Crypto Dynasty, thanks, brother. Yeah, they're both really healthy. Just talked to my lady before the stream. She's doing really well. Thanks for asking. Could take a look at Woo. Thoughts on Shopping.io. Shopping.io, I've heard really good things about. Generally bullish. I don't know things about it myself. Except for if Steph, if you're watching, give me a shout out. Wasn't there one like Shopping.io that you guys were all buying? We're all really bullish on. Yeah, shopping. Oof, this chart looks good. Damn it. Okay, there's so many coin requests. We're in a bull market, guys. Bull market confirmed. I'm going to take a few more because I love you all, and I want to see these charts, but I'm going to hit my vape first. Give me a sec. And with that, I should probably drink some water. Okay, the final stretch here, guys, which usually ends up being 20 minutes, but let's take a look at Shopping.io. Damn, SPI. That's what you were talking about, BK. I've never seen the ticker for this one. I've heard of Shopping.io, but not the ticker. Yeah, dude. Oof. Oof. This chart looks good. This is everything we were just talking about. Oh, see, this is the hard thing, though. Like, everything looks like this. So you got to position small so you can buy them all like fucking Pokemon. Or you just got to position into concentrated bets and hold. Damn. You know, the one thing that's like a knock on this is it's kind of below what was a key level. So some traders will want to wait till that's done. But this is all I need to see on a chart right now is, well, first of all, this. Get into that reload zone, 88.6. It's where we like to buy. And then you're just down here. There's just no volume. If there was sellers, they would have sold. There wasn't. That's why they didn't. That's why there's no volume. That's how bottoms are formed. And then if you don't want to sit there in a coin that's dead because maybe it's at the bottom, but maybe it never goes back up, you wait for the buyers to step in. Get long with the smart money. So what do we see is an uptrend in volume. And what happens usually after volume? Price. BK, thank you. SPI looks great. I concur. Xcur, yep, probably Xcur. JH nailed it. So Xcur, I forget the relationship to Shopping.io. If maybe it was just one that was like it and was going to do well. But this is one my buddies were really bullish on too. And they were bullish on it from way back here, and I'd missed it. And then this happened. I was like, fuck, I missed it. And then this happened, and I actually missed it again because I didn't stay paying attention to it. But Xcur is kicking ass too. I mean, look, guys, the whole crypto market looks like this for the most part, right? There's some shitty charts out there, but so much of what you guys have brought up today, as well as what I've shared, just look like this. And so I guess as we get to the end of the show today, I should be saying, like, why would I rush to short this market? Why would I rush? You know, there's like a 3-month reaccumulation, and we know it's reaccumulation because we saw which wallets were getting bigger and we saw which wallets were getting smaller. Shitty, weak-handed people who bought here and sold at a loss. Sorry, they're not shitty people, but They made bad choices. They were selling here at a loss. And who was eating up all those coins? It was big, smart money whale wallets. The kind of guys who put floors in markets. So that tells me this was reaccumulation. And as we start to break out of that, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 of green candle, do I want to be selling? Nope. Do I want to scalp and capture gains along the way? Sure. Let's find some levels each week as we come on the show. But, you know, Hxro, oh, that looks like a top. No, it doesn't. That doesn't look like a top. Might be a local high. Always could be, but that does not look like how markets top. This looks like the breakout to another fucking cycle. I get fired up, man. I get fired up because I hate seeing people totally gap on the emotion of the market. The emotion of the market is to just not believe that it's going to happen. To think that after this, you're so butthurt that any gain isn't good enough and you just get out. Well, say goodbye to generational wealth, because that usually comes from longer holds and bigger, broader, bullish markets. And this kind of volume and this kind of reversal is the beginning of potentially a much larger bull market. And I don't care about shopping.io or Hxro or any one of these coins. I'm just talking about the whole fucking market. The whole market looks like this. The whole market. Like, look at this. What if you did that to Axis? You get up here, you're like, oh, you know, nice volume breaking out. But look what followed that. A perfect example of what we've been just talking about. The volume breakout here. Let's go back to it. Like, look at what it looked like when it was here. Is this not what some of these charts look like right now? Is this not what every chart in crypto that we just looked at today looks like? Sushi looks just like this. I'll prove it to you. Let's go look at sushi. Fuck it. We're going to do a side-by-side. Because this is what started the Axis thing. It was the big bubbling up of buy volume and the breakout. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to sell because the market's been so mean to me lately. Well, the market's about to be way meaner to you, bro. Because you got caught trading the bear market at the start of the next bull market. And this is how you get left behind in life, my friends. FTT does look insane, dude. FTT is insane. Insanely undervalued. And I don't know about where it is right this minute undervalued. Like, it is, fundamentally. But it is the first thing of all the coins I've been holding to arrive in the short reload zone. So this is going to be an area of resistance. And look at that. Just touching all the levels. Tag, 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 tag. This is why we put the fibs on. So I'm not selling my FTT here because I can't live with myself if I sell it under $100, because my thesis is the same many other theses of people's, is that it's going to be worth well over 100. If not just because of their growth, because they're burning tokens over time. Eventually that supply will be gone and blah, blah, blah. So I did load the fuck up. It is probably way in profit. I don't feel like I bought enough to be able to sell some to buy back and risk missing. So I'm just holding it. But keep an eye on this one, because FTT runs the show when it comes to Sandbasket, I think. You know, Solana probably a good proxy as well. But in this case, FTT led. So if FTT rolls over, you know, don't maybe get caught in a whole bunch of Solana plays for the short term. Now, if you asked me, I'd say that this needs to be filled in. I'd say that there's a gap there. I'd say that there's a possibility that we do some of this. And ultimately, I'm looking for higher, but this is your pump chaser zone. This is your reload zone. Don't be shocked if they come, and don't be broke if we get there. Be ready to buy if you're me. Oh, God. I always get caught saying things that sound like I'm telling you what to do with your money. I'm not. I'm just speaking in general, you know, what to do as a trader in my eyes. That's what I do. So just shut the fuck up. Read the disclaimer. Kidding. Okay. Getting too silly here. Must be late. Yeah, FTT looks amazing, dude. It's just like up only. It's been up only since the lows. Cat's out of the bag, blah, blah, blah. Soon as that market structure confirmed, level up. I'm not sitting here saying, like, if I had zero and I'm like, oh, I'm going to wait for this dip to buy it, probably getting left behind. But I'm not going to add for now unless we get into something like that. Probably. And that would be totally normal. And wouldn't that convince the whole world that this was a disbelief, fake out rally, blah, blah, blah. Like, the bears were right. So watch closely, because if we get up into here and just do this lazy shit and then break down, there's a very good chance if we break from this 618 that we're going to end up coming right into this reload zone whenever that happens. And if we do that, oh baby, that's the fucking spot before the real move. It looks really good. I mean, this looks great. If this happened, it'd be like, oh, look at that, fibs work. That happens all the time. But I'm not shorting FTT. Fuck no, bud. Not when you compare its valuations and its trends of users month over month growth, and then compare it to Coinbase and the valuation they just had. Nope. So, does that make sense? Well, like if we could see this across the market, I guarantee if you're just trying to hold here for the big moon, like this would suck. This would suck a lot. You'd lose everything you just made. You'd probably be underwater because most of your average buys are probably a little late. And I don't mean that you guys personally, just traders in general. Or market participants, because not everyone who buys and sells shit is a trader. I think there's certain criteria that, if you don't treat your trade account like a small business, if you're not tut with the rules and the processes, you're not a trader. You're just a gambler, right? So traders do whatever. Gamblers, though, they would really hate to see this. I'd be licking my chops. Through here, a little painful. If I do see this breakdown, do I cut some of my spot and try to play this? Probably. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I may wake up one day and say I sold some. But I'm definitely not rushing to do it. At the highs, I would have to wait for that reversal, and that's probably weeks away if it even happens. Yeah, FTT is bound to be a top 5 eventually. I agree. The shakeout starting right now. I don't know what time frame you're looking at. I'm going to stick to the dailies more and more. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I mean, look at these fib levels, guys. I love this shit. Right into the 786, and then dump it. And was there bearish divergence? Not really. Well, maybe on the 4 hour, actually. Oh, God. What a sick setup. Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to get in here and scalp this shit, I mean, huge bear div on that last push up into the 786 on, like, slightly reduced volume. Tough to see at the time. But you can see here the bears woke up here, right? It's like, I'm a bull. I'm slightly less bullish. I'm slightly less bullish. Bam. Bear stepped in, put a top in it. And then we still squeezed to a new high on weaker volume, on weak momentum, into a nice 786. There was definitely a short there. Looks like it came in this morning. But it's easy to say, oh, look at that. There was a short there. But that is what I look at live action time. You could say that was not impossible to catch. But it's still an uptrend, right? So, like, this is still a higher low for now. So the only way I'm going to get in here and say, okay, I'll cut some of my FTT bag because I just want to get more. And maybe if I cut, half here and then buy it back here, I can increase my bag by 33% or whatever for free, essentially. But I'd need it to close below here. And then I don't sell there. I wait for the next bounce and then. So a lot of things need to happen for me to cut any of my FTT here, but. Namely, I want this to come down and just say, okay, so just say we did. I'm not saying we will, but just say we did this. So we confirm bearish market structure, right? High, break the mid. Okay. If I'm going to sell any of my FTT, the only way I'm going to do it is if we then squeezed up into like here. Because then I'm only risking 6.5% of whatever I sell. Because on FTX, there's this beautiful thing called a buy stop. And if you are going to go lower, you often do that first. And this is where I would cut my bag if I wanted to, partially. And then I would instantly put a buy stop here, which means if it goes up there, I'm buying it right back. And, I'm back in. Then I lost 6% of my bag, but I was risking that to try to get, 30%. It's possible. It's risky. And then, of course, when you get into those rising wedge patterns, it's just like a high, a high, a high, a high, a high. And suddenly, stopped out. Fuck, I have no FTT left. And then it dumps anyways. So none of this shit's easy, guys. But those are my thoughts on FTT. Looks fucking so bullish. But it is the first of a lot of these coins to arrive in a place where I'm preaching caution. because all the coins that we've looked at today, almost, they all look so similar, right? Coming up, a lot of them are still down here, breaking out, just lagging. FTT kind of led, and it's coming into caution zone, and look what's happening, right? The sellers are starting to step in a bit. So just keep that in mind, because if the leaders roll over, the followers often roll over too. They don't even end up fully following. The show's over for a little bit. But across the entire market, if you want to know what I think worst case, we see something like this. Like, not worst case, there's definitely worse cases, but like that's the worst case that I think is probable. Which means nothing, because I don't know what's going to happen. But keep that in mind. Check the hourly quickly. Yeah, so if you're just sitting here, I don't have enough FTT, and Jedi Hornet says, check the hourly, buy the dip. Totally. Because this does not have to happen. This fib pong, that does not have to happen. It often does, but it doesn't have to. And the last thing I'll say today, guys, because it is getting into the 2-hour mark, and I should go and be with my family. I love trading and I love streaming, but, fam jams times tonight. The last thing I was thinking is, around this whole idea of like, is there a pullback, blah, blah. If the cat's out of the bag on like there being another leg this year, which I would argue it is, I just think it is, buy volume coming in. Like when I talk about like, you get these uptrends and then we hit the big dump and I say, well, wait for the short reload zone. If it comes quickly, then I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm thinking short continuation. But this didn't come quickly. This was like a whole fucking bear market, reaccumulation. Like it's not the same. So when we get up here, I'm not nearly as comfortable, rushing to call bear. I guess what I was about to say was, and what I'm trying to say is, if the cat's out of the bag and we are headed to another leg, how much of a dip are we going to get? I got to ask myself that, because when you're unsure and the market's kind of like meandering higher, you get a lot of dips. And then the cat's not out of the bag, and then when it finally is, it's like, oh my God. You can almost see that on this chart. So is this like a unsure meandering market, or is it like, holy fuck, we all got faked out, it was a bull, and then there's just like no major dips for a little bit? There will be major dips, but maybe not as soon as a lot of people wish there were, because they didn't buy the bags they should have been buying during all the reload zones. Okay, I think rant actually complete. But keep an eye on this, guys, because this is not healthy. This is a double distribution, and those love to get filled in. And to fill that in, you need to trade in this zone. So I wouldn't be shocked at all to see something like that. Bore everyone to death, scare everyone, shit their pants, and then run. And that's not wishful thinking. I have a bag of FTT, and I'd rather it just went up. I don't want to short it, don't want to sell it. But that'd be normal. Congrats on the new hodler to the household. Mick Menacey. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Oh, SNL 43 is throwing out some love. Call me a must-follow CT trader, man. I appreciate that. I just hit 5,000 followers the other day. That was flattering. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, that's great. Thank you. Appreciate it. I talk about it all the time. I don't work really hard to grow my following, but I do appreciate the following. So if you guys are listening to me, if you're seeing my shit, appreciate you. I think that's it for today, guys. I don't know that my voice will hold up much longer. It's getting raspy. I will tell you this, though. Dominance looks ready to dump. And so all today, I've basically been looking at USDT pairs. If you want to take the next step and you want to say, okay, maybe Bitcoin's going to range here, maybe it's going to roll over a little bit, get out some of these watch lists. And if you want, I can share mine. It's Binance. It's probably not updated. There's probably like 20 new coins that aren't on here because they update so many now. But start looking at these. Get the daily out. Shrink it a bit. Oh, look at that. Ooh. It was back in friggin' April. My God. Taking its sweet time breaking out. But there was bullish structure back here, apparently. But yeah, like get out some of these BTC pairs and start looking. Okay, for months I've been talking about shorting Cardano. And I got the alert today and I was like, I don't know if I'm shorting anything. It's a bull market. But look at that. Oh, it pinged my level that I had waiting for months. And I even put the alert here. Oop. I even put the alert like below because I wanted to have time to set it up. You know how many times I do that? Things look bearish, so you have a bearish setup. You set the alerts into your levels, but the bull market, the market feels so bullish when it gets to your levels that you say, oh no, I'm not going to do it anymore. Fuck. Well, if that was the high on Cardano, then I'm going to go eat shit for months because that's probably going to take a long time to play out. But we'll see. Ro Jogan wants me to take a puff of my vape before I leave. I don't know why, but I'm going to do it. Don't smoke. This is a stupid thing. It's stupid. Cousin got me into it one night. We were drinking at my cottage, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to buy one, then I'll be hooked. Well, I bought one 3 months later, and now I'm hooked. They're fun, but they're stupid. Every smoker says that, right? Nah, some people are like, I love smoking. It's dumb. But it tastes like mint, so it's nice. Okay, Aeon looks good. Don't have a bag. Looks like I do, but I don't. Hxro looks good. Don't have a bag. Looks like I do, but I don't. So these BTC pairs look good. Algo, not so much. Alpha, let's see. Yeah, looks good. I mean, there's just a lot of this shit, guys. So if Bitcoin just chills, is it mooning? Somebody says it's mooning. Whoop. Yeah. I mean, look, best case for altcoins right here, right now, because once Bitcoin breaks to new highs, get the fuck out of altcoins. So the party zone, I know I said I'm going to wrap up, but I just love this shit too much. You got to get obsessed in life if you want to get there. So look here. Best case for altcoins is that Bitcoin continues to pump because that's liquidity in the market. That's bullishness in the market. Looks like it is. We are coming into a key weekly resistance level. So be careful taking new longs here. Just probably don't for me. But getting up into here and then distributing that Bitcoin into altcoins for some kind of ultimate dip. And that's similar to what we just saw in FTT, right? So let's see, what would that look like? Let's just say we're going to get up to there. This is all super conjecture-y. That's a nice, this is so good for altcoins. This would be like the perfect scenario for all of us, because I'm sure most of us here are balls deep in altcoins first, myself included. So everything I'm seeing on dominance, on all those alt pairs I just saw, on the Dixie, it says that we can trend up into here, liquidity cycle through like October, and then sometime in November, I think it's like the 11th. That's Remembrance Day. Maybe it's like the 19th. I don't know, 17th. Somewhere in November, Taproot is going live, which is kind of like on the level of EIP 1559 for ETH. Taproot for Bitcoin is going to be big. It's not going to be like burn the supply and all that scarcity stuff, but it's going to be possibly adding smart contract logic into it. Although I don't know about that because I read 2 reports. One didn't mention it and one did. But it's going to be scaling it a bit, just generally making it better. There's a terrible description, but look it up. Either way, it's going to be a catalyst. It's going to be a thing. And so in this area, and likely ahead of this area, you're going to start to see liquidity flow into Bitcoin as that narrative heats up. So can we get an alt season in between? And then it's like, maybe Bitcoin starts to run to new highs. Actually, that actually makes more sense. Into Taproot. Like into that event, we should see Bitcoin really squeezing dominance. So all this, let's capture as many alt gains as we can. Or is it going to be this? I don't fucking know. All I know is I want to be more into Bitcoin if dominance reverses upwards. But in the meantime, strength in Bitcoin is going to echo into altcoins until Taproot, until new highs. That's when Bitcoin up is bad for altcoins. So let's have fun, guys. This is a really exciting moment in the market. Pivotal, absolutely pivotal. Because if we get another leg here, baby, it's probably going to be bigger than the last one. And with that, I'm going to go to an idea section. Idea that I posted on Twitter today, because I think that a lot of people are underestimating the potential of this bullshit. Even the ones that are sounding like, you look at somebody who says 100K Bitcoin, like I think they're really fucking missing the mark. A basic fib extension from the last bull to this bull points to 343 Bitcoin. That we see those fib extensions happen all the time. Why can't it happen to Bitcoin? Where do you value Bitcoin? You think it's going to be the future of something? You think it's going to be a de facto world reserve currency or store of value? Then 340,000 is peanuts. So where do you think this is headed? Is the cat out of the bag? I think it is. And I think once we break to new highs, we're going to see something none of us expected. And it's going to be hard not to sell some at 100K because it's probably going to be major resistance. But I would be shocked if we break to new highs and don't go way. I'd be shocked if we break above 65 and stop at 100. Let me just put it that way. So for fun, I put this idea out on TradingView back in December, and we're going to see this thing, see where it goes. We're going to see where it trends. I don't think it's going to hit 20K again, possibly ever. So goodbye to that. But this is all like, oh, I don't think this, I think that. Who cares? But don't be shocked if it hits into the multiple hundreds of thousands this year. Yeah, 10K ETH, 267. Fuck yeah, Topher. Look, I like a long-term prediction. My man, disappear in the cloud of smoke. Oh, Road Jogan. Yeah, that's a good idea. Like, for fun, that would be funny. Just blow the vape into the thing. Let's try that today. Guys, swap breaking out. Yeah. Actually, it was Mick in the chat here today that pointed out swap to me. So thank you, Mick. I was in bed at the time. Not in bed, I was like on bed. And didn't have my ledger, which is where I'd have to buy this. Yeah, it's starting to move. What is it, 10% today? God, I want some swap. Every time swap dips, I forget about it. And every time it breaks out, I go, damn it, I missed it again. It's basically 420 on the ranking, too. It's 421. So let's put a little pump on it, get it to 420, and make it a meme coin. But look at that chart. Yeah, it's ready. But it's up 26% today, so can I, now I can't go buy it. But any kind of pullbacks in the market, make a short list of coins you told yourself you wanted to get more of, and start hunting those throwback levels, because bull markets love bullish throwbacks. Case in point, right here. Breaks new highs, I can't buy it. Oh my God, fucking load up on that bullish retest. So... can we get a bullish retest here? Nope. Maybe. So I'm going to keep an eye on swap. Oh my God. I did the thing. Guys, sorry, I wasn't showing you the chart. Bullish throwback. Take it to the highs. And then can we get one here? Maybe. All right. That's freaky. It's like he rewinded and repeated everything. Appreciate the time, guys. You guys coming to spend your time with me. There's so much stuff on YouTube, but you chose to hang out here. So for that, I appreciate it. And if you are interested in being an intern for Hxro Labs, we're going to be hiring one soon. So, put the word out. You got to be a grinder, though. This shit ain't easy. We need a grinder. Oh, no! Woo! Okay, God damn it. Because it's my show, we're going to do woo. Because I have a bag. Hey, look, I've got a bag of this, kid. Yeah, woo looks great, too. Woo looks different. It looks weird. That poker tournament I played a couple weeks ago, that charity FTX one, the guy from Woo, one of the founders anyways, was on the table I was on. And I was like, damn it, I forgot to buy my bag of Woo. And he's like, still time, man. We're not launching something until like August. So they've got a launch coming up soon. And look at this trend line breakout on Woo. Damn. Looks good. I don't have a huge bag, but at the table that day I said, okay. And then I went and bought a bag. I aped into one. Confirmed with him while we were sitting together that that was happening. And that's what I see coming for Woo. Not a prediction, just my assumption that the breakout will come. And maybe already just did. So, yeah. This is like, one of the more advanced things that I don't do as a trader that advanced traders would do. Because I'm Mr. Like, if I didn't get my sweet perfect entry, then I just sit back and don't buy it. But one thing I need to do is start learning how to add to winners, right? Okay, I bought some Woo. I think it's bullish. Okay, it just confirmed that it is bullish. Add to my position instead of being like, I wish I bought more. Actually, just fucking buy some more, because it's actually higher price, okay, but it's less risky now than when I was buying it below trendline resistance, right? So I get a discount for taking extra risk. Now there's less risk, but I pay a premium. And I historically am not good at paying those premiums. I often just go like, ooh, okay, well, wait for a dip. So I might actually add to my Woo bag. but I am running dangerously low on liquidity. And that's not where I want to be when we come into some of these resistance levels. I'd like to have some liquidity for potential dips. So we'll have to look at that. Yeah, so that's been great, guys. Appreciate the love today. You guys have been lots of shout outs for me being a new dad. That's always fun. The market looks so fucking good, man. Just be careful that you don't ape in at resistances so that you sell dips and you end up wrecked during one of the greatest, potentially greatest bull markets of all time. Actually, and I don't just say that to be an idiot. You guys watch this show all the time, right? Sometimes I'm like, wait, it's bearish, it's boring, don't touch it, it's overbought, don't touch it. I genuinely think that we are headed into potentially one of the greatest bull markets that we've ever seen, even if you were here in 2017. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Whatever you do until next time, I'm going to try the Rojogan exit. So whatever you do till next time, guys, always play from a position of strength. Oh, fuck, it didn't really work well. Have a great day, guys.